All right, so we're here with Christian. He's got some interesting machines here. They may look a little familiar, but they've got some pretty big upgrades. So, Christian, you want to tell us who you guys are and what you guys did?
We're Muon3D. We're a 3D printing startup. What we did was we took sort of a similar problem statement and a lot of inspiration from the Positron project.
Right.
But what we've done is we've sort of redesigned that from the ground up.
Okay.
So we sort of moved away from that kit approach. We wanted to sort of create a really premium product, something that someone can go and buy off the shelf that makes 3D printing really accessible.
Right. So this isn't. It's not like a kit anymore. It comes as a finished product.
Yeah.
Okay. So you basically just took something that people used to build as a kit and then refined it down.
We
made a product out of it.
We started from a completely blank bit of paper.
Okay.
So you'll notice the sort of kinematic system is very similar, but
Right.
really everything sort of inside is very custom.
So I see a couple of ports on the side here. What are those guys for?
So we're sort of experimenting with a few different applications.
Okay. Experimenting is fun.
The little one is actually a mini HDMI.
Oh.
So we sort of like the idea of being able to plug a bigger screen in if you wanted to do it.
Okay.
One of the things we want to play with in the future is maybe doing some slicing on the printer, so you don't necessarily have to take a laptop with you.
Oh, that would be awesome for people traveling with. Which I mean, a printer like this is that's kind of the whole point of a printer like this is to be able to travel with it.
Yeah.
So if you could slice everything right there, you wouldn't need to bring around a laptop. And you could just
Absolutely.
pull it out of the box and start
I
printing.
mean, it's a fun idea, right?
That's a very fun, very cool idea. So what kind of upgrades? Because I mean, obviously this is based on the Positron, but you guys have done some pretty big upgrades to it. So what kind of upgrades over that makes it unique?
So we've moved to a direct drive system.
Oh, wow.
And we've also got a CPAP fan in, which is doing remote part cooling. So we put that all through one connector. So that is taking air, it's taking filament, and it's taking power and data to the tool head.
Oh, so that one CPAP tube is taking everything.
I mean, I can show you on here, right?
Oh, wow.
It's got a tube like this. So it's only one thing to plug in. We've got the air from the CPAP, USB-C for power and data, and then filament.
That is wildly cool.
Yeah, we wanted to just set it up, plug one cable in and ready to go, basically.
So now, I do see a little bit of a difference between these two. One's a bit chunkier than the other.
Yes, the machine we've got over on the side here, we've got a modular battery pack on the bottom.
Oh.
So that means that we can do up to 15 hours completely off-grid printing. So you can imagine the application, maybe you go out to a really remote job site, there might not even be power there. You notice something's broken, for whatever reason you can't get the part, maybe it doesn't exist, maybe the nearest hardware store is 3 hours in the wrong direction.
Or it might be midnight and they're closed.
Yeah, exactly. This can be something that you carry on the truck and can do a repair.
15 hours from that's
absolutely,
That is awesome. Now,
so that's 15 hours with PLA, and then obviously when you go to sort of some hotter filaments, it drops a little bit.
A little bit less, but that's still impressive. Now, is this something that is available now, or is it coming soon?
So this is something that we're taking to Kickstarter very shortly.
Okay.
So probably the best thing to do is go to our website, muon3d.com.
Okay.
What we've got is we've got a form on there. If you fill that out with your email address, we know to contact you as soon as that goes live.
Awesome. Is there an expected price point yet, or is that to be determined?
So we're looking at for the printer, sort of a Kickstarter price of £1,000 for a pre-order, which I think works out to $1,200.
All right.
A bit up in the air at the moment, right?
Yeah, with everything going on right now, it's kind of hard to tell.
And about £500 or $600 for the battery pack.
Okay, this is awesome. I am definitely interested in this guy. I've always wanted something small to travel with.
Yeah, absolutely.
That way when I'm traveling and
for
I'm sitting in
shows
my hotel,
like this, right?
Yeah, sitting in my hotel room, bored, twiddling my thumbs. I could be printing something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Christian, thank you so much for taking the time to show us these awesome machines.
Yeah,
and,
thank you so much for having me.
I look forward to seeing these things out in the wild.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. All right, so we are at the MagPie booth, and we're here with the creator. So he's going to take us through what this machine is and what the story behind MagPie is.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Wilkes, and this is the MagPie, or these are the MagPies. So it's an open source Core XY, mostly printed printer project, fully open source. This originated from the Rook 180 by Rolohan, and kind of got modified until it was, I mean, it's recognizably related to the Rook family, but it's pretty different. So I'll go over some of the things that I think are interesting about it. Number one, if you have an ender, you're already about 75% of the way there. And the whole point of it is that this is a machine that's easy to self-source. So I like simple numbers. In the bill of materials, right, these are 400 millimeter long. These are 400 millimeter long. These are 400 millimeter long. I like simple numbers, right? So that's a 1 meter closed loop belt for the Z-axis. If we can go ahead and drive it up, right? It's one.
Oh, nice. So one motor.
It's just one belt, one motor.
Nice.
And it's simple because, you know, outside of belt stretching, how are they going to get out of sync?
Right.
Right. So right now, cost to build one. So right now it's about $250 if you have nothing. That means like if you don't have an ender, right?
Oh, wow.
If you've got an ender, that price is going to go down. Now, I want to be careful and exact with what I say. It costs me that much.
Right.
And it could cost you that much, but I don't know. Tariffs work in mysterious ways. Last year they were $200, right?
This year, who knows?
Right. It's so basically it's I don't know what's going to be in the future, but so why this project and what can it do? Why would be because I think RepRaps are awesome, and I really want to make mostly printed things because the more we make it printed, the more generalized it can be, and the more likely you'll be to have it, right?
Right, exactly.
So there's that. There's also the fact that I feel like makers are in a interesting place right now where there's a lot of pressures from a lot of different places. And I don't want to get too into it.
Right.
But I think it's important that knowledge be shareable and understood regardless of circumstance.
Absolutely.
But the last thing, these are enclosable. So when these machines are enclosed, they're really good at printing ABS.
Really?
Really, really good. So all of these are, I mean, I don't want to toot my horn.
No, you're good.
But yeah, these are all ABS parts.
Oh,
and,
wow.
This is actually a nylon part that I tried on it, and it did reasonably well.
Okay, that's pretty, hey, nylon on a $250 machine that...
Maybe, if Alibaba permitted.
Maybe, yeah. But still, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Right. But they do need to be enclosed for that, obviously. Right. Now, and I guess last thing people ask is how many spools does it take to build one? And the answer is it depends on what material you build the frame out of.
Right.
Because, so if you're like this one's ABS, that's 3 spools.
Okay.
If you're this one, that's PETG, that's 4 spools.
Right.
PLA is fine. Obviously, don't enclose PLA, but PLA is also 4 spools.
Okay. So just depending on the material, depending on how much flex and strength and...
Right.
You know, yeah.
Well, so these are printed Voron standard.
Okay.
Right? It's just that, like, ASA and ABS are less dense.
Right.
They have less mass than PETG. Therefore, in order to sell you a kilogram, they have to give you more on a line.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
So you get further per ABS spool just because it weighs less.
I honestly never thought about that.
Right? Well, I didn't think about that until I was doing this. And I was like, oh, actually, I'm noticing that, like, not only do I have enough to print everything, but enough to have some left over.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. So these are available at, where can they find the files?
So you can find the files on spitedriven.com.
Okay.
But that's the easiest URL I could give you.
Right.
And that's really just an excuse.
Or I guess I could just show them the QR code.
Yeah, you can do that too.
There you go, guys. Go there.
Thank you.
No, of course, man. Appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I've seen this online, and I saw you yesterday. I was like, I need to come talk to him, but yesterday was a little...
I did not get to talk... Oh, sorry, I did not get to eat or breathe until 3 p.m. yesterday.
Yeah,
at which point I immediately was like, I'm hungry.
Yep, that was my problem too. I finally realized, why am I so cranky? Oh, I'm hungry.
Yeah, and then you get back in your bed and you're like, oh, my feet hurt.
Yeah.
Why do my feet hurt?
It was definitely hard rolling out of bed today.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it.